Let's now see what happens when we change the three files we added in the last video. Again, let's start with the input actions. We can move our square with the WASD keys, but some players might expect to also be able to move with the arrow keys. We can do that very quickly by duplicating the appropriate actions and just adding another binding for the new keys. Now, as we would expect, the file is listed in the pending changes. When we right-click and choose a div, we can immediately inspect the changes in Unity. On the left-hand side here, we can see the file before we changed it, and on the right, the pieces in blue highlight the changes. Here you can see for each of the 4 keys, we get a new block of configuration. If for some reason we would decide that we don't like the changes, we can remove each block separately with the X. Since we like our changes, let's immediately check in. Now let's move to the scene. The default blue background color is terrible. How about we choose a beautiful dark gray? How will this change look like? We have to save the scene and then div the scene file. Here we can see a background property on the camera game object has changed, which makes sense. Just this one change would be too easy, however, so let's say that we want our square player to start from a different position. When we look at the change, we can see that the local position property on the transform component has changed, which again is not a huge surprise. But as you can see, those sort of changes are pretty easy to understand. Note that again, you could override the change with the version from the left side by choosing this arrow icon here. What's also useful on big files like a scene file is that those controls on the top here allow you to jump from one change to the next. Again, we like our changes, so let's check in. We changed 2 of our 3 files. The only thing left is the script file or our player controller. Since we have such a great game already, we don't want to change too much, but we might want to add some logging and just log whenever we move. Obviously, that's not a very useful change, but it is enough to see something in the div. At first glance, this looks similar to the divs of the other files, but it actually is different. Here we have another feature of Plastic, which understands what file it is diffing and offers different visual support depending on the file type. For script files, we can choose different options at the top left here. The second option is called Semantic Diff, and it is a very interesting way to inspect a script file. As you can see, it does not just show you the changes, but also tells you whether a piece of code was added, changed, or deleted. If you have large code files, this perspective can simplify understanding your changes. Since changes are more difficult to understand than simple additions, you even have an option to isolate particular changes and cut it out of the surrounding code. And finally, there is one more perspective for code files, which is a high-level visual overview. We saw how to diff change sets, we saw how to diff files, and we saw that Plastic offers different tools for diffing different files. I said that there are 3 different file types roughly, and now I have to admit that this was a lie. There is one more file type which will be part of many of your projects, and that are binary files. Generally, binary files are difficult to diff since they are not human readable like the files we saw so far. But also here, Plastic has interesting solutions. For example, one type of binary files are images. We don't need an image for that project, but that will not stop us from adding one. I will immediately check the image in. And now let's imagine that I am an artist and I am convinced that I can improve the image in Paint. Definitely much better. What would you expect how a diff of the image will look like? Again, we get a seemingly unimpressive window which hides some very nice Plastic features. We have several tools here that allow us to diff images. For example, under the swipe option, we can seamlessly swipe between the old and the new image. Under differences, we can isolate only what changed about the image. And under onion skin, you can add the changes gradually. I'm not working as an artist in Unity, but I assume that for certain games, in certain use cases, this is a very useful tool. Now finally, our journey through the world of diffing is complete. Obviously, those tools actually shine once you have to deal with larger, more complex files. We'll see a couple of examples in the course projects later. I hope this section was useful, but let's now move to the next topic.